Greetings, girls, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Mod. I'm Admiral Tarak of the heavy battlecruiser Discovery. Oh god, I just realized the ship of the name is the Discovery. Anyway, as we continue our campaign against what is becoming sort of the Northern Federation as we sort of generate another mini-empire. And last time, well, we got our hands on an X-type heavy cruiser, or rather an X-type fast cruiser, and it had proved to be interesting. However, not quite what we're looking for. What we're still in the market for is an XCB, or a heavy bombardment cruiser. Unfortunately, those vessels have not yet come up on the market, so we're going to go putter around a little bit more in the middle of space and see if we can't cause some ruckus and make the enemy have to pay attention to the fact that we want a bigger, better ship by, getting them to give me prestige so I can buy that bigger, better ship. Alright, let us go to maximum alert, and we'll overload all of our weapon systems. It doesn't have a gigantic hit to our speed, at least not early on, and especially once our phaser capacitor fully charges, that actually won't be noticed pretty much at all. Throw a whole bunch of power into the forward shield, or rather as much as we can cram into it, and we'll target the enemy. We have currently a freighter, a freighter, a freighter, and a freighter. So nothing super serious for the enemy so far, but as we draw in closer, I assume we will run into some form of defense. We have no allies on this mission. There's the enemy. It is a light cruiser. It is a steam runner, so it is one of their heavy war destroyers. So the steam runners are fairly solid, reliable vessels, generally packing about 3 photon torpedoes, can be more, and just overall fairly good ships. This is an HDW X2 specifically, which I think we should be able to handle without too much trouble. After all, we are an X-type heavy cruiser, although we don't have as easy of a time dealing with the freighters, considering our phaser armament consists of 9 phaser X's and 2 phaser G's, which is rather anemic actually. So our plasma torpedoes are still a charging, which is one of the big weaknesses of this ship. However, I think what my plan is going to have to be is to dive on top of the enemy, tractor beam him, and then just flood him with all the phaser firepower that I have at my disposal. So quick check, I have 18 points of power in the forward shield. That should be more than enough. I don't want to come in here too quickly though. After all, we are still charging the weapon systems, and it wouldn't do us any good to be able to bump into him and then, get stopped because we don't have any weapons to actually shoot at him. So as we continue to cycle on in closer, as he comes from the gigantic, I don't know if this is like a proto-nebula or a black hole or what's going on here. Well, it's not black hole because it's bright white, but still you get the idea. It's a bit of an odd spatial feature, but very lovely. The improved background packs being one of the biggest things that made this game look so much better. The ship models didn't hurt either. Alright, so we are going to basically dive on top of you and hurt you in all the ways. I'm going to go maximize electronic countermeasure because I don't have time to sort of mess with you suddenly deciding that you want to stop my electronic countermeasure. And we're going to prepare all of our plasma torpedoes. That's going to do a straight on penetration hit and 24 points of power into the forward shield. Let's give it a little bit more because he's going to hit me pretty hard. 2.5. Plasma's away. Prepare for the phaser follow-up as soon as it punches through. Took him. That was exactly what the plan was. So we did manage to run on into him, grabbed him, flooded him with 160 damage worth of plasma alone, and immediately followed that up with a fairly stunning amount of firepower, purely from the phasers to back that up. Overloaded phaser X's are astonishingly powerful, and that was just a graphic demonstration of that fact. We do have 2 more plasma torpedoes. Unfortunately, they're aft-based, so in order to shoot them, we have to get the enemy behind us, which is a little bit weird, but we should be able to handle that. In fact, what I plan to do is basically just do a bit of a drive-by. So I'm going to come over to my tractor beam, and we're going to activate that in a hold mode as we basically try and slip him in so he's facing my rear plasma torpedoes. I believe a single plasma S in overload mode might actually be enough in order to swamp him. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit more now that we have our phaser capacitor fully charged once again, which means we get to be deadly. Although there are a lot of freighters in this convoy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them? That is a lot. Alright, come around and prepare the port side plasma. Let's see how he handles this one as we sort of drag him along, pushing him closer to his objective, but I don't think he's going to survive. He survived that. There we go. It took quite a bit more phaser firepower. We've destroyed one of the Federation freighters, and we need to prepare to knock out the other Federation freighter. Activate the tractor beam once again, except this time we have to bring him over even further. So I'll start to turn on away as the tractor beam is about to kick on. There we go. Drag him around to the other side. That was a little bit closer, perhaps even too close this time, as solid hit didn't actually knock out his shields. Wait, really? An enveloping plasma torpedo dealing, let's see, 30 to 60 to 10 damage each is actually not all that much. Huh. I hadn't really figured on that. Set them to normal then. I'll take the crunch damage that I can deal. So now we're dealing with one of the armored freighters, and we'll kick on another tractor beam. This time we're just going to use the forward plasma torpedoes. And I don't know if 4 or 2, I think 4 is going to be necessary. So we're just going to run up and flood him with fire, and then flood the next one with fire, and then phasers and probably an aft-type plasma torpedo from you. So the free trader, lock it on. Quad plasma, start to turn. And good job. 3 was actually the number that we needed. Pick up the pace a little bit more and activate the tractor beam again. So you're going to have a bit of a bad day. And I think you know that. But at least I think you're also resigned to that fact that you probably should just give up. Surrender, pop the white flag. Don't worry, we're nice enough people. After all, we're basically the evil Federation. Should be fine, right? Northern Ranch. Plasma's away. For another 4. And crunch. On to you. I shouldn't actually need... well, I don't have plasmas to shoot at you anyway. So that'll be a little bit fine. By a little bit, I mean it'll be perfectly fine. We'll use the phasers alone. I think that'll be enough. Do I have... which arc is my Gatling phaser on? Huh. It is a rear-only arc. That's interesting. So we'll just get up right on top of him to make sure we maximize the damage. And just obliterate it. Oh, that was lovely. Alright, prepare the charger beam. We'll just start to slow down because I want to be able to basically turn around and give him the aft shot on this one. Could actually just increase speed time. And turn and turn and turn. There we go. Gatling phaser living up to his name by completely annihilating the target. So that really is sort of the job that our fast cruiser is supposed to do. Zip in there, cause a little bit of havoc, zip on out. Although in this, it was rather just annihilate everything that got in your way. 358 prestige is a reward for a job very well done. And we'll pop around, just cause even more havoc in the middle of the Federation. I mean, T-10 patrol for a straight-up Duel. Let's see what the enemy has to bring against us. I suspect they will not be able to defeat my masterful vessel. Well, you know, we're being escorted by the Justice, a Hideki-class little ship, so that's adorable. And we also have a DDG along with us, which, according to this, is the Conjunctive, which is one of the larger vessels. It's light cruiser destroyer-ish. Destroyer. Pair of I-type plasma torpedoes, and G. Clearly, a guided destroyer is not all that good. And I'm just going to skulk around. We are facing against a DWC, which is... oh yeah, you're a straight-up war destroyer. So that's cool. We don't often run into the New Orleans class. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's really cool. So we have a fairly cool New Orleans heading on our way. Hopefully we will be able to handle his dangerous firepower. I believe he's packing 3 photon torpedoes. So it's not exactly insane about what we're about to deal with, but looks like we're probably going to have to worry about this tractor beam. At least not if he's smart. Yeah, buddy, you're just gonna die if you let me anywhere near you. USS Missouri. So on speed of time as we get ready to actually get into combat. This forward shield is heavily reinforced, and grab. There's the grab. You're not getting away from this. Oh, this was your mistake, son. Shattered. To be fair, it was 3-on-1, and we heavily outclassed him. But yeah, New Orleans. Lovely vessel. Quite happy about it. Unfortunately, not quite up to the task of handling an XCF. Then again, I'm not sure if I'd be able to handle that fight. The XCF is remarkably quick, has a decent number of phasers, but it's that quickness that's the real danger. Pop back in here, see if there's an XCB available to us. XFP, which is a frigate, but I'm not really interested in getting a frigate. Yeah, 2 Fs, and that's about... oh no, it's actually got 6 F-type plasma torpedoes and 6 phaser X's. That's an interesting combination of weapons. Let's take a fleet action, see what the enemy's going to throw our way. Hopefully we'll be able to hold out against whatever that is they bring to bear. I think we should be able to, but you never quite know. Preparing for battle, overloading all systems. We have the Heavy War Destroyer, the Black Widow, and the Heavy War Destroyer, the Battle Widow. Wait, are they both the Battle Widow? Or did I click on somebody else? Interesting. So we have the Battle Widow ×2. Lovely. And also the most beautiful backdrop for battle. And gonna go maximum electronic counter. Yeah, just straight up electronic countermeasures. Make sure we have the forward shield reinforcement as well. Reinforce that. We are gonna lag behind just a little bit just to make sure that everything gets fully sorted out before we actually engage the target. So if they rush on forward first, we should have an easy time. We have a DNF, so a straight-up Federation Plasma Dreadnought. Not exactly the safest thing to try and run into. And he's being escorted by a light cruiser, but as we can see, another steam runner, so it is a heavy war destroyer. Yeah, this is a gorgeous vessel. And it's going to be such a shame to turn it into slag. Although, no, we should be able to handle him. Oh, he got every single shot to hit on that. That was impressive. Props to the gunnery command team for this vessel, because they just did an amazing job. Don't need the tractor beam anymore, so I'm not going to bother with that. We're kind of prepared to come on in as soon as his defenses are gone, which I believe they're gone already. Yeah. So I'm just going to position myself quite nicely for a full-on plasma strike. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you have that too. But I just did 160 damage to you, and you didn't. Anti-plasma. A little bit too close on that one. That's actually a big mistake by me. By utilizing those weapons so close, it really kind of placed us into a much more vulnerable position than we otherwise needed to be. So we're going to start slowing down so we have more weapon systems available to fight the enemy. And also so we can charge all our heavy weapon systems. Our electronic countermeasure kicking in to protect us from his photon torpedoes, and he's lost both of his experimental plasmas. Oh, you're not having a great day, are you? Well, we know he's not having a great day. We shoved 8 plasma F torpedoes down his throat. And we're in a position behind him. So the Richards is in a bit of a precarious position. And I think I'm feeling pretty comfortable with the amount of forward shield I've got on him. I'm just waiting until we're within the range of 5 before I open fire with my phasers. And there it is, so cut right through that. 26 more damage onto the target. And I think I'll pass him on the starboard side. This is going to open up my stern a little bit, but that's the price of doing business. And also, the Gatling phaser. So causing a bit of rough damage into him, and my phasers should be able to strike out again in a nice little blast right on in there, which is knocking out most of his systems. I'm going to sort of hug him on this a little bit because I'm a little bit worried about him getting to that aft shield and causing a tremendous amount of damage, as the Battle Widows apparently are capable of cloaking, which, while a wonderful ability, leaves me a little bit high and dry. So we'll continue to just sort of orbit as tight as we can, and that'll tear him apart. It's such a beautiful ship. It's kind of a shame we had to kill it, because it is a gorgeous vessel. Probably the most beautiful Federation dreadnought in the game. And I kind of have to include things like the Galaxy. Alrighty, let's set ourselves up for a nice little plasma strike on you as well. More plasma heading on in towards him. I don't think he'll react to it, but he could. Don't react to it. Good, he didn't. I was worried the AI would do something stupid like actually react to that, because there was no reason to. They were completely unable to really catch up and do anything. Alright, all of our weapon systems apparently are charged, so I'm just going to power up the ship to maximum speed. We're going to go in for just a full-on grab. Now this is going to leave us quite vulnerable to sort of incoming missile fire, but it looks like he just deposited several of those. Either that or his buddy did. So the USS Stephens, as we come in, grab. There's the grab. Plasma's right to his face, slowing right on down for the defense shield. And good penetration on that one. Hit him hard with the phasers to finish him off, and that'll be a good show right there. So very interesting. It's a very beautiful dreadnought. Very beautiful. Oh. Can't remember the name of it. It's like Menomeser or something like that. Absolutely gorgeous. And tile, of course, held and secured. A quick check on through, of course, looking for one of our ex-bombardment cruisers. And sadly, not available. I'm just going to do that to select it. And pop back into Federation space. We didn't actually take any penetrating hits on that run, which was pretty cool. I'll accept a scout, see what we can take a peek and look at. After all, the Federation has a whole smorgasbord of vessels to look at. And we're about to figure out one more. Oh, it's an FFG. It's a Nova class. How adorable. Yusun just walked into the wrong neighborhood, and I think that you know that. Maximum electronic countermeasure. Shield reinforcement to the forward. We're just going to prep this one because this will be a nice, easy pickup. The enemy does not stand a chance, and they know they don't stand a chance. They're a Nova, after all. So we're just going to run on up here. We're going to scan him, and then we're going to fire all the plasma torpedoes into him to remove him from the fight. Because he basically has no purpose sort of existing in the same realm as we do. Alright, start to slow down. Prepare the... Activate the deep scan. Slow way down. And there's his missile. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Scan complete. Conclude the scanning. Annihilated. Yeah. Not really the fairest of battles. Oh, little tiny frigate. That's yeah, that was not a nice game. Shouldn't have done that to him. I mean, I'm not necessarily asking to get bombarded by three sovereigns, but that was not nice to the little guy. Still no XCBs. MET-17 patrol is buggy, and salvage is also similarly a mission type that I don't need, despite the fact that I'm not actually full on stuff. So a salvage mission would be a number of boxes floating out in the middle of space, and we would be tasked with scooping them all up. Basically, it gives you free spare parts. If you're especially low, salvage is a great mission to grab. Reinforce the forward shield, get ourselves fully rigged and ready. Increase the speed of time. And zap for a little bit more speed. Just get us up to a cruise. Oh, great. It's another Akira. So we're dealing with another X-type heavy cruiser. So he's got six, God, what are they called? Heavy photon torpedoes, a massive array of normal phasers, and a couple of missiles on top of that, I believe, as well. So, not exactly this kind of ship that you want to run into in a dark alley. Prepare the tractor beam, because we are going to basically run up to him. Going to try and crush it down all of his point defense. There you go. I was waiting for that. And a scatter pack. I don't think the scatter pack means a darn thing when it comes to dropping wild weasels or not, because too many times we've seen that, well, for some reason or another, they're still able to dump a wild weasel after that. Oh, forward shield held against that. And we're about to pull within range. And held against that as well, so he's just exhausted pretty much all of his firepower. Solid crunching on through. And let him go. Ooh, forward shield got very much crunched on that one. Looks like he doesn't actually have a... He doesn't have a shuttle bay anymore. Oh, that's so bad for you. You're fighting a plasma ship and you don't have a shuttle bay. Fighting a fast heavy cruiser and fighting a shuttle bay. You have no shuttle bay. Come on, get out of there. There we go. Blasting out our last plasma S. Okay, plasma S torpedoes to normal mode. I'd like the addition of the power. As we start ripping on in, because we are going to hold all the initiative in the fight so long as he doesn't have that thing fixed. So we're just going to have some light fire for him. Just in order to sort of keep him on his toes. Don't want to shoot too much though, because we do also have to keep in mind that our defense system is going to be a little bit excessive in trying to keep us protected. Get fire phasers. There we go. As the two of us exchange blows. Although, as long as I'm here, you're going to have a bad day, and I think you know that. I think he understands that allowing me to sort of hang out in his blind spot, probably not the safest of things that he's ever done. We got to use a mine to see if he can't shove us away, but that just gave us another opening onto his shields. Plasma torpedoes are almost ready, and he's not going that quickly. Forward port shield is offline, but that's okay. We can have it handled. Come on, get the plasma off the ship. Another mine. Good use of the mine. He's trying to push me out. But he's not going to be able to stop that. That's going to go right on through. And crushed him. Okay, we took a little bit more damage than we otherwise wanted to, but that's alright. The ship's a bit of a loner. We are looking to sort of trade it in for the bigger and better model. But not bad at all. Successfully executed mission. Against a superior opponent as well. 310 prestige for a job very well done, and we'll pop right on back home. And again, consult with the shipyard. XCB, friends, please? No. No, they say no. Okay, we'll patch up the ship. 69 damage, nice. And mission? Asteroid base defense, no thank you. We'll press out into the middle of the black hole. See if we can't sort of secure our holdings in the area. Holding action? Sure, why not? Let's go right into it. And see what sort of forces are arrayed against us. Oh goodness. So we got a full-on dreadnought over here. This is actually a heavy carrier, fairly powerful. The battle cruiser carrier, which is a Nebula with additional coverage and hangar bays in the back, and a galactic survey cruiser, which is an Oberth. And we brought along for the fun the Hampton, which is apparently a steam runner. Good job. So they brought a heavy carrier, a galactic survey cruiser, and a battlecruiser carrier. This falls under the category of things we have no desire to fight. So my plan is to blast through and keep on blasting, because attempting to fight this will get us killed. There's too many fighters in the field, or at least there's about to be. I believe you have 12 fighters and you have 16. So that's no, we're not capable of handling that, at least not right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to burn my way through the galactic survey cruiser, because it's going to be the least bad of the options. Those are my shields. 3-point. A bit of light photon torpedo fire as we just basically curse on in. Strike onto him. And blast on through. Oh, he had fighters as well. Turn on in. God, the fighters are heading us off the pass. That's not good. Oh, that was well executed, little fighters. They got the good angle on us. So to the listening post, reading the data. And data transfer complete. So long, suckers. There's a speed limit here and you're not allowed to pass it. So that'll allow us to get out quite nicely. So in and out nice and safely. And even the steamrunner survived. Good job. Scientific research. Ooh, we can steal their technology now. Bob back on home. Stealing the technology could be an XCB. It did. Buy. Supply. Trade in the XCF, because lovely little ship, but we've moved up to the vessel that we're going to hang with, because, you know, XCBs are kind of where it's at for quite a few races. Not all of them, but for quite a few. It is a rather significantly powerful element to all the war that you would ever want to fight. Done? Missions? Sure, let's fight a monster. Let's see what the monster has to say. So, ready? Ah, I didn't use a custom. That's okay. So we will zip on in here and annihilate the target. I believe I was running low on different Cardassian ships and I wanted to find something that looked cool but didn't look, well, ridiculous. And my original plan, actually, when I was creating the Cardassian faction, was to combine them with the Dominion, but I ended up wanting to make those separate, and I made the Dominion and the Breen a same faction. Felt it sort of fit a little bit better. Although there is sort of a limit in the number of Dominion ships you can get your hands on. Alrighty, we're just going to cruise on in close enough to cause a little bit of havoc, and we will actually get up to our maximum speed. So the goal is going to be a speed of about, or a distance of about 15. We'll shoot and scoot. Oh, good hookup. 2, 3, 4. It's on the way. And we turn away. And as we turn away, we bring 2 more PPDs to bear on the target. And that allows us to continue the engagement. Missed with 1. And good solid pickups on the rest. Not bad. And that's pretty much the plan. And this XCB can basically do this all day. Just zip on in, fire one set, then fire the other set, and just continue to repeat that until the end of time. We also have our anti-plasma torpedoes, which we should probably be using, because they do shoot forward, unlike on the other vessels of this similar class. Don't want to get too close, of course, because that's when danger happens. 2 pulses from one of the aft's, because I am not really charging one of the others. Prepare our plasma S's, if you don't mind. Add a gift. Pair of plasma S's onto him. See how he handles that. Slamming right on into him for 44 more damage. And I'm going to give you some distance. You are, at the end of the day, still very well equipped with heavy plasma torpedoes, and that is a danger that I should give some respect to. So once again, out and then in. The mantra of plasma of PPD vessels. Out and in. Flow like water. Yeah, because you can't get too close, because the moment you do, just suddenly your ship stops working. It becomes a bit of a problem in later periods when you're actually trying to make this thing actually, you know, do the things you needed to do. I love it when you kill something with a PPD. It just makes it seem that much more satisfying. So finally into our X-type heavy bombardment cruiser with all of its great firepower. Basically a battleship firepower in a smaller package, which is lovely. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I have been Derek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and make sure you join us for our streams on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 4 o'clock as we play through Rogue Tech, a game basically about another 1980s board game that got turned into a computer game. Check it out on the channel. I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit, and I will see you all in the next episode.